What if I told you that the intense sugar cravings you are battling right now are not a failure of your willpower, but a sophisticated biological trap? Every single time you give in to that sweet tooth, your brain experiences a dopamine surge identical to the neurochemical high of addictive substances. But here is the brutal truth that the trillion-dollar food industry spends millions to hide from you. That quick fix is quietly rewiring your metabolism, flooding your liver, and accelerating cellular aging. Hello, I am Dr. Liam Cooper. Over my past 2 decades in the medical field, specializing in metabolic health and senior wellness, I have watched thousands of patients walk into my clinic trapped in this exhausting cycle of sugar highs and crashing fatigue. They try to white-knuckle their way through diets, only to fail because they are fighting their own brain chemistry. You cannot beat a biochemical addiction with sheer willpower alone. You have to outsmart it. That is exactly why we are here today. In this video, we are moving past the generic, surface-level advice you see everywhere else online. I am giving you an advanced, medically backed blueprint featuring the top 10 definitive snacks specifically chosen to dismantle your sugar addiction from the inside out. These aren't just diet foods. They are strategic, nutrient-dense tools designed to block your tongue's sweetness receptors, stabilize your insulin, and protect your cellular matrix. Whether you are fighting a stubborn weight plateau, trying to reverse insulin resistance, or simply want to reclaim your energy and focus, these 10 snacks will change the way you look at food forever. Let's dive straight into the science of cutting the biological strings of sugar addiction once and for all. Snack. Number 1. Raw walnuts, the metabolic shield. We begin our countdown with a snack that changes the very chemistry of your palate. Raw walnuts. Most people look at a walnut and think of healthy fats. As a physician, I look at a walnut and see a highly sophisticated neurological tool. The secret to stopping a sugar addiction lies in a flavor profile humans are biologically trained to avoid: bitterness. The paper-thin skin surrounding a walnut contains highly concentrated polyphenols, plant compounds that taste slightly bitter. Your tongue houses specialized receptors for sweet, sour, salty, umami, and bitter flavors. When you eat something bitter, it triggers an ancient biological mechanism designed to prevent poisoning. In modern nutrition, we use this to our advantage. The bitterness of the walnut skin acts as an immediate circuit breaker for dopamine-driven sugar cravings. It numbs the sweetness receptors on your tongue, completely dampening the urge to seek out refined sugar. Furthermore, walnuts are packed with alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a critical plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. Your body converts ALA into EPA and DHA, the identical fatty acids essential for preserving the myelin sheath, the protective coating around your brain's neurons. This is vital because clinical studies show that chronic sugar consumption creates profound neuroinflammation, degrading cognitive function, and accelerating conditions like dementia. By replacing sugar with walnuts, you are literally fueling your brain's structural fat matrix while lowering systemic inflammation. Snack number 2. Crisp green apples, the intact carbohydrate matrix. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Dr. Cooper, apples contain sugar. Won't that worsen my addiction? This is where a critical piece of nutritional science gets completely misunderstood. Carbohydrates are not your biological enemy. Refined sugars are. When you eat a crisp, whole green apple, the natural fructose is locked inside a highly complex, unbroken cellular structure known as the food matrix. The sugar is literally trapped inside sturdy walls of insoluble fiber and water. Your body has to expend significant metabolic energy to chew, break down, and digest this matrix, a process highly comparable to a puzzle that slows down your digestive enzymes. Because the release of sugar is incredibly slow, it passes cleanly through your upper digestive tract, allowing your gut microbiome to safely process it. It will not cause a sudden spike in your blood glucose. To maximize the sugar-quitting benefits, you must pair snack number 1 and snack number 2 together. The natural, subtle sweetness of the green apple makes the bitter, polyphenol-rich skin of the walnut highly palatable. This pairing is a clinical masterclass in satiety. The fiber and malic acid from the apple combine with the polyunsaturated fats and proteins from the walnut to slow gastric emptying. Your stomach stays full longer. Your insulin curve remains perfectly flat, And you completely bypass the blood sugar crash that triggers the desperate search for an afternoon candy bar. Always keep the skin on the apple. That is where the highest concentration of metabolism-regulating phytonutrients lives. Snack number 3. Roasted pistachios in the shell, the neurowave regulator. Moving on to our third snack, we have whole pistachios, specifically roasted and left inside their natural shells. While most people choose snacks purely for taste, the pistachio offers profound neurological benefits that directly combat the root causes of food addiction. When you struggle with chronic sugar cravings, your brain is often locked in a state of high stress and chemical imbalance. Electroencephalogram, EEG. Studies have revealed that consuming certain nuts can actually alter the electrical conduction and brainwave activity in the human cerebrum. Specifically, pistachios have been shown to significantly enhance gamma waves. Gamma waves are the highest frequency brain waves, and they are absolutely critical for cognitive processing, information retention, deep learning, and steering the brain through optimal REM sleep cycles. By boosting gamma wave activity, pistachios help calm an overstimulated nervous system, reducing the anxiety and stress-induced emotional eating that frequently drives people back to sugar. Additionally, look closely at a pistachio and you will notice a distinct, vibrant color scheme. The paper-thin inner skin possesses a rich purple hue, while the nut itself is a brilliant green. That purple color signifies the presence of anthocyanins, while the green comes from a powerhouse combination of chlorophyll and carotenoids like lutein and zeaxanthin. These are highly potent antioxidants that actively defend your body against oxidative stress. Because nuts are naturally rich in fragile plant oils, nature wraps them in these antioxidant-rich skins to prevent them from going rancid. When you eat them, those same antioxidants protect your cardiovascular system and your eyes from cellular damage. Best of all, pistachios are roughly 20% protein and exceptionally high in fiber, creating a prolonged sense of fullness that silences your appetite. Snack number 4. Frozen dark purple grapes, the resveratrol powerhouse. Our fourth snack is a refreshing cold treat that completely redefines how we handle a sweet tooth. Frozen dark purple or red grapes. Many people trying to quit sugar completely banish fruit from their kitchens, terrifying themselves over the natural sugar content. This is a massive mistake that often leads to diet failure. Grapes are naturally packed with water and potassium, making them nature's premier hydration tool. More importantly, whole grapes are categorized as a low glycemic index food. When you freeze them, the cold temperature alters the perception of texture on your palate, turning a simple piece of fruit into a slow-melting, deeply satisfying substitute for sugary ice cream or popsicles. The magic, however, lies entirely in the dark skin. The skins of dark grapes are heavily concentrated with a famous polyphenol called resveratrol, alongside other bioactive compounds like catechins and quercetins. Clinical research shows that resveratrol acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory agent that supports endothelial health, meaning it helps protect the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels and improves overall blood flow. When you consume the grape whole, the structural fiber slows down the absorption of its natural sugars, giving your gut microbiome time to convert these polyphenols into highly beneficial metabolic byproducts. The mild bitterness and structural toughness of the grape skin act as a natural brake system, preventing you from overeating while simultaneously dampening the dopamine spikes that fuel your addiction. Snack number 5, zero sugar wild-caught salmon pouches, the satiety anchor. As we cross the halfway mark, we shift our focus to a snack that targets the absolute core of metabolic hunger: wild-caught salmon or sardine pouches with zero added sugar. For decades, the food industry has conditioned us to think of snacks as crunchy carb-loaded chips or sweet bars. To break a biochemical addiction to sugar, we must completely break that pattern. When you consume refined sugar, your body produces a sharp spike in insulin, which rapidly clears glucose from your bloodstream, leading to an inevitable crash. That crash triggers a hormonal alarm system, sending intense hunger signals straight to your brain. To stop this cycle, you need an anchor. Wild-caught fish pouches provide pure, unadulterated structural protein and long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, specifically eicosapentaenoic acid, EPA, and docosahexaenoic acid, DHA. These essential fatty acids do something truly remarkable. They optimize cell membrane fluidity and improve insulin sensitivity at the cellular level. When your cells can easily listen to insulin, your blood sugar stabilizes naturally. Furthermore, pure protein stimulates the release of peptide YY, PYY, and glucagon-like peptide 1, GLP-1, the exact hormones responsible for telling your brain that you are profoundly full. A convenient pouch of salmon requires zero cooking, contains absolutely zero carbohydrates, and entirely eliminates the physical capability of having a blood sugar crash. It turns off the biological hunger signals that the sugar dragon relies on to control your choices. Snack number 6, raw cacao. Nib bark with frozen bananas, the dopamine alternative. For our 6th snack, we are creating a highly advanced, intelligent biological substitute for traditional chocolate ice cream. Home-prepared frozen banana slices topped with raw cacao nibs. One of the greatest challenges in quitting sugar is replacing the creamy texture and the intense neurological reward of high-fat, high-sugar desserts. If you try to survive on willpower alone without replacing that sensory experience, your brain will eventually rebel. To outsmart this, we mash or thinly slice ripe bananas and place them in the freezer. When frozen, the starch structure mimics the rich, smooth mouthfeel of premium ice cream without a single drop of dairy or refined fats. But the real therapeutic power comes when you top those frozen slices with raw cacao nibs or high flavanol unsweetened cacao powder. Notice I said raw cacao, not heavily processed or Dutch processed cocoa powder. Regular commercial chocolate undergoes alkaline processing, which completely destroys the delicate plant compounds. Raw cacao, however, remains packed with flavanols. Clinical trials have shown that these specific flavanols are incredibly potent vasodilators. They trigger the release of nitric oxide, which widens and relaxes your blood vessels, drastically improving systemic blood flow. In fact, research demonstrates improved walking distances in patients with severe peripheral arterial disease just from consuming rich cacao flavanols. By combining the natural potassium of the banana with the bitter, antioxidant-heavy profile of raw cacao, you satisfy your brain's craving for a creamy treat while protecting your blood vessels and stabilizing your metabolism. Snack number 7, raw red beet carpaccio, the nitric oxide surge. For our 7th snack, we look to the earth for a vibrant, deeply pigment-rich option. Thinly sliced raw red beets, often prepared as a raw carpaccio. While many individuals avoid beets because of their natural, earthy sweetness, missing out on this root vegetable means missing out on one of the most powerful cardiovascular and metabolic therapies available in your local supermarket. The deep crimson hue of red beets is due to a specialized group of phytonutrients called betalains, which provide exceptionally high antioxidant and anti-inflammatory protection. More importantly, beets are uniquely concentrated with dietary nitrates. When you chew raw beet slices, a highly sophisticated biochemical process begins right inside your mouth. The native, beneficial bacteria residing in your oral microbiome actively convert these nitrates into nitrites. Once you swallow, your stomach acid and systemic enzymes further convert these nitrites into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a powerful, life-saving vasodilator. It instructs the smooth muscles surrounding your blood vessels to relax and widen, which instantly lowers peripheral blood pressure and dramatically surges oxygen-rich blood flow throughout your entire body. This is why high-performance athletes consume beet juice to increase stamina. But as a physician, I care about this because it repairs the vascular damage caused by years of chronic sugar consumption. Additionally, beets are an excellent source of folate, vitamin B9, a foundational B vitamin essential for cellular DNA repair, methylation, and robust immune function. To preserve this entire biological pathway, you must eat them whole and avoid using harsh, alcohol-based chemical mouthwashes, which completely wipe out the vital oral bacteria needed to unlock the nitric oxide surge. Snack number 8. Toasted nori or wakame seaweed strips, the thyroid catalyst. Our 8th snack takes us to the ocean for a deeply savory, mineral-dense option. Lightly toasted nori or wakame seaweed sheets. When people attempt to quit sugar, they often find themselves battling a persistent desire for a salty, savory crunch to distract their palate. Instead of reaching for processed corn chips or nutrient-stripped rice crackers, seaweed provides a profound metabolic alternative. Seaweed has an unparalleled biological capability to absorb and accumulate trace minerals directly from the ocean, making it nature's premier source of organic iodine. Iodine is a critical micronutrient that the human body cannot manufacture on its own, and it is the foundational building block for your thyroid gland. Your thyroid utilizes iodine to synthesize the vital hormones thyroxine, T4, and triiodothyronine, T3. These hormones act as the master conductors for your entire systemic metabolism, regulating cellular energy production, protein synthesis, body temperature, and gene expression. When your diet is deficient in iodine, your thyroid slows down, leading to a sluggish metabolism, chronic fatigue, and intense, survival-driven sugar cravings as your body desperately searches for fast energy. By incorporating a few sheets of high-quality nori or wakame into your weekly routine, you supply your thyroid with the exact raw materials it needs to optimize your resting metabolic rate. However, precision is key. Adults require roughly 150 micrograms of iodine daily, and over-consuming highly concentrated seaweeds like kelp can overstimulate the gland. A simple, modest serving of toasted nori seasoned with a touch of sesame oil provides the perfect savory crunch that satisfies your sensory cravings while stabilizing your hormonal health. Snack number 9. Home-prepared chickpea hummus, the microbe feast. As we enter the final stretch of our countdown, snack number 9 brings us to a metabolic staple that bridges the gap between culinary enjoyment and clinical nutrition: home-prepared chickpea hummus. While you can easily find pre-made hummus in any local supermarket, making it yourself at home is a complete game changer for your health. Commercial brands frequently pack their containers with highly refined inflammatory seed oils like soybean or canola oil to cut costs. When you prepare it yourself, you control the ingredients, utilizing pure extra virgin olive oil and rich sesame tahini. The true power of chickpeas, however, lies in their structural carbohydrate complexity. They are loaded with resistant starch and soluble fiber, which act as a massive feast for your gut microbiome. When your beneficial gut bacteria digest these specific fibers, they ferment them and produce short-chain fatty acids, most notably butyrate. Butyrate is a biological miracle molecule. It heals and seals your gut lining, reduces systemic inflammation, and sends direct signals to your brain to suppress appetite and turn off emotional food cravings. Furthermore, hummus provides a beautifully smooth, creamy texture that satisfies the palate, making it the perfect delivery mechanism to help you consume other, less palatable raw vegetables. It transforms the act of eating healthy into a deeply satisfying, savory experience that keeps your blood sugar perfectly stable. Snack number 10. Crisp red bell pepper strips, the vitamin C apex. To complete our top 10 list, we pair our hummus with the ultimate cellular shield: crisp, raw red bell pepper strips. Most people have been deeply conditioned by clever marketing to believe that citrus fruits like oranges and lemons are the absolute highest sources of vitamin C. As a medical professional, I am here to correct that misconception. Raw red bell peppers actually contain up to 3 times more ascorbic acid, which is the true scientific name for vitamin C, than a standard orange, all while containing a mere fraction of the natural sugar. The deep red color is a clear visual indicator that the pepper is fully mature and heavily saturated with vital phytonutrients, including beta-carotene, vitamin A precursors, and powerful antioxidants. This is critical because your brain is an organ composed entirely of pure structural fat, making it highly susceptible to oxidative damage. In fact, your brain requires a higher concentration of vitamin C than almost any other organ in the human body to protect its neural pathways and maintain clear cognitive function. When you consume a red bell pepper, you are delivering a massive dose of ascorbic acid to shield your central nervous system, without triggering the massive dopamine and insulin spikes associated with high-sugar citrus juices. Furthermore, the thick, crunchy cellular walls of the raw pepper require extensive chewing, which mechanically slows down your pace of eating and stimulates your body's natural satiety hormones. Dipping these crisp, vitamin-dense red pepper strips into your home-prepared, fiber-rich hummus creates a flawless, professional-grade metabolic snack that completely crushes hunger and shields your DNA from the destructive forces of sugar addiction. To truly understand how to defeat a sugar addiction, we must look deeper than the food on your plate and examine the cellular machinery inside your body. Every single time you consume refined sugar or a processed carbohydrate, your body requires a specific spark plug to metabolize that energy. That spark plug is an essential micronutrient known as thiamine, or vitamin B1. Thiamine is a water-soluble vitamin, meaning your body cannot store it for long periods. Any excess is rapidly excreted through your urine. Therefore, you must consume an adequate amount of it every single day. Thiamine is absolutely vital for your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells. It allows your body to convert carbohydrates into usable cellular energy, enables your nerves to communicate with one another, and supports healthy muscle contractions. Here is the critical danger that most people completely overlook. Every time you eat empty, refined sugars, you are forcing your body to burn through its existing stores of thiamine just to process that junk. Because processed sugar contains zero natural vitamins, it acts as a literal sponge, rapidly depleting your body's resources. When you run low on thiamine, your carbohydrate metabolism breaks down entirely. Your body begins to accumulate a highly toxic byproduct called pyruvic acid, which alters the delicate pH balance of your bloodstream. This cellular backup directly damages your mitochondria, saps your mental alertness, and causes severe shortness of breath. This advanced state of thiamine deficiency is historically known as beriberi. In the 19th and 20th centuries, thousands of people across Asia, including the Imperial Japanese Navy, died from beriberi simply because the industrial food revolution allowed them to polish the outer hull, the vitamin-rich bran, off of white rice. They were eating pure, nutrient-stripped carbohydrates, and it killed them. Today, the modern food industry artificially fortifies white flour and white rice with a synthetic version of vitamin B1 to prevent outright death, but it is nowhere near enough to help you thrive if your diet is still packed with high-fructose corn syrup, agave, or hidden sucrose. Furthermore, this chronic micronutrient starvation wreaks havoc on your aging body. A classic example is the formation of cataracts, where metabolic waste deposits build up directly inside the lens of your eye. Clinical evidence shows that individuals who consume an abundance of natural thiamine alongside other key micronutrients possess a massive layer of protection against early cataract formation. I have seen patients in their early 50s requiring bilateral cataract surgeries simply because they spent decades eating at the same fast food establishments every day, completely unaware that their nutrient-depleted diet was actively clouding their vision. The exact same principles apply to cognitive decline and dementia. When your brain lacks the critical thiamine required to process energy, its neurons begin to wither and misfire. While the pharmaceutical industry has yet to find a cure for advanced dementia, clinical studies show that high-dose oral thiamine supplementation can significantly stabilize and improve cognitive symptoms in metabolic patients. You must understand that convenience foods and shelf-stable snacks were originally engineered to keep combat soldiers alive for short periods, not to grant civilians longevity over 8 or 9 decades. To protect your DNA and your mind, you must stop chasing isolated laboratory metrics and look at the whole picture. Reclaiming your health from the grip of sugar addiction is a deeply personal journey. But as we have discussed today, it is entirely within your reach when you use the laws of biology to your advantage. By consciously replacing industrialized, nutrient-depleted sweet treats with these 10 powerful intact plant foods, you are doing far more than just managing your weight. You are actively flooding your body with the structural fiber, essential thiamine, and potent phytonutrients required to shield your DNA, optimize your liver function, and preserve your cognitive sharpness for decades to come. I am Dr. Liam Cooper. Thank you for spending this time with me today to invest in your long-term wellness. If you found the advanced clinical insights in this video valuable, please take a moment to support the channel. Hit that subscribe button right now, leave a like on this video, and drop a comment below letting me know which of these 10 snacks you are going to incorporate into your routine first. I do my best to read your responses. Take exceptional care of your body, protect your cellular matrix, and I will see you right here in the next video. Medical disclaimer. The information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical expertise, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or another qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or before making any drastic changes to your diet, fasting routines, or lifestyle.